safe to record? Damn, toy news won't stop. Okay, people, welcome back to another Fwoosh Weekly. As always, I'm Robo, and I'm a little... I had to sit out on Toys with the Boys Wednesday because I wasn't feeling good, and apparently it's still that way. I still have some... But this is the weekly. We ain't got time for that, especially this time of year. As we've talked about several times, it's what should have been San Diego Comic-Con next week. That means the companies are just, here's a little of this, and some of this, and here's a reveal, and here's a tease, and another reveal, and it'll be available next week, and... But, can't complain, right? I mean, what it comes down to is, we have to pick and choose. This time of year just makes it even that much harder. And it's not just companies that's doing shows next week, it's just companies in general. Following up on the Figma Doom Eternal Doomslayer tease from last week, Good Smile Company has now hit us with a full solicitation. And it's essentially everything we thought from what little we were given. Remember the picture? It was kind of It's a kick-ass looking action figure with some elegant paintwork. Now, I don't say elegant a lot, but looking at this, it reminds me of miniatures. You know, the color gradients and the shading and just how it all works together. It's not your standard action figure paint job. As I said many times last week, Robo don't know Doom, but I can appreciate interesting aspects of action figures even if I'm not connected to the property, and here it's the paint job. Well, that and how nicely they've integrated the articulation into the chunky armor bits, but that does leave exposed flesh, which means Figma elbows, just pow. I think the next big achievement in super articulated action figures will be a better looking elbow in general. I mean, we've grown used to it, where we have to see the cuts and the joint and the pins. Well, not the pins, they've started covering those up. So we're moving towards that, but the next breakthrough is going to be elbows that look good, just facing forward. And it's something I don't think about very often, but when it happens... Anyway, Doomslayer is $100, releases in May. Speaking of joints that are just right in your face, we've already talked about the amazing Yamaguchi Deadpool version 2, both in regular colors and X-Force colors. But this week, Kaiyodo came along and sweetened the pot a bit. If you pre-order directly from the Kaiyodo store, you get an additional exclusive Deadpool bomb. Yep, a bomb with a Deadpool logo on it. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for extras, but I don't think this is enough incentive for me to switch over my pre-orders. Looking at the tweet, it says pre-order normal edition and X-Force color edition to get the bomb parts, so I'm not sure if you have to order both to get the bomb parts or it's a case-by-case basis. Either way, we come out of it with this picture, which is amazing and makes me happy that I pre-ordered the X-Force Deadpool version 2. Totally worth it. If you're interested in the bomb, the links are in the description. Sticking with Kaiyodo, what's this? What's this? There's ball joints everywhere. What's this? There's pre-orders in the air. Now, this isn't the first release of the Legacy of Kaiyodo Nightmare Before Christmas Jack Skellington. It's not even the second release. Some of these promo pics will look familiar because they date back to 2010. But this is the first release with phosphorescent paint, and to those of us who have small town schooling, that means it glows in the dark. As far as I can tell, it's the head and the hands that glow, and all I have to base that on is this picture with the glowy green arrows pointing at the head and hands. My wife collects Nightmare Before Christmas figures, so this may be my chance to finally jump on this figure. I've looked at it before, but with the glow in the dark is tempting, and then just as an action figure, the options for the face, the hands, the base... Yeah, it looks neat. $60, and of course, it releases in October. Looking back at the previous releases, it seems that in 2010, this was $23. In 2015, it was $40. Now it's $60. Oh, toy prices just... NECA made many a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cartoon fan happy this week by putting their Turtles in Disguise 4-pack up for pre-order on the NECA store, along with Genghis and Rasputin punk frogs. I had to look at that because I'm not as familiar with the punk frogs. Some people have been lucky enough to find these in stores, but I've never seen it. I had to rely on the kindness of others to get my set. Thanks, Goji King! But if you're still on the hunt, go to the NECA store right now, secure your set, because it's up for pre-order for the next 2 weeks. On top of that, NECA will be holding a Comic-Con at-home panel next Monday, so that just gives us more stuff to talk about on Monday Fwoosh Live over on Twitch and my personal YouTube channel. And then, of course, the next weekly, we'll recap everything I have a feeling next week is going to be the longest weekly ever. It's got to be, right? All these companies. I had forgotten McFarlane Toys announced The Princess Bride as one of their upcoming action figure lines, so seeing this tease caught me off guard. But in a good way, like a hug. At first you're like, whoa, 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 wait. And then it slowly, okay. And then finally, that's enough. Get away from me. It starts to get awkward after a moment. This is like that. Kinda. Okay, I'll admit. Terrible metaphor. I don't know where I was going with that. On medication. Because really, I'm ready for more. More angles, more looks at this, more characters, more pre-orders. My name is Inigo Montoya. Prepare to buy. Okay, that was as bad as my metaphor. Terrible. Will we find out more next week? Is McFarlane gonna have a big, not San Diego Comic-Con reveal session? Who knows? We'll see. Wow, Storm Collectibles is just full steam ahead with their Golden Axe line. Just last week, it was Gilius Thunderhead and Chicken Leg, and I mentioned that, one, because it's relevant to this release, and two, I just like saying Gilius Thunderhead and Chicken Leg. I think if I ever start a hardcore metal band, I'm gonna be Astro Blaster Thunderhead and the Chicken Legs. The weekly is extra rambly today. Just a week later, Storm solicits their Tyrus Flare with Blue Dragon. I actually expected her before Gilius Thunderhead because of the reuse of the dragon from Axe Battler, but apparently they're just saying to hell with the budget. Let's just get them all out there. Tyrus looks like another fantastic action figure. I love the proportions, I love the musculature, just the overall look of this figure. And of course I'm gonna like the Blue Dragon more than the red. That's just life. Look at the blue. Look at it. Blue everything here on this channel. I also noticed that in these group shots, Thunderhead seems smaller than we originally feared last week. Against those skeletons, he looked big. Against Axe Battler and Tyrus Flare, he looks appropriate. Otherwise, all I can say is that you Golden Axe fans are going to be rocking a respectable display sooner rather than later. It's just bam, 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 bam. $125 due out later this year. When I heard that Mezco was going to be dropping another 1/12 collective pre-order on us this week, I thought, what could it be? Will I want it? Is that a stupid question? You're Robo, you want everything. So I was happy when it turned out to be another weapons pack for the Slugfest Emporium. Easy pass. Until I started thinking about other figure lines who have went sci-fi with their guns, which I don't mind. It's at least guns. It's better than the other lines who don't even come with shooty bang bang weapons anymore. The option's there, I might as well jump on it. It's right there in front of our face. And thinking about it, this could be a continuing thing. Weapons packs from Mezco that are loosely based on other corners of pop culture that need some holes plugged. And at $35, it's not a bad value, especially compared to 3D prints or third-party items, which I do love. No shade thrown there, but this is just more guns for the locker. Still up for pre-order as I record this, scheduled for this month. If you've messed with the 1000 Toys TOA Heavy Industries Synthetic Human, you know what it's like to touch a tiny piece of toy nirvana, to transcend to the next level of plastic. Beautifully humanoid, but not human in all the right ways. Or you just see it as a expensive, creepy toy, and even then, I think I did get this on clearance at some point. And honestly, it's not all sunshines and rainbows because, movable eyeballs. I hate it. I can never get them even, looking in the same direction. But it seems we can take everything I just said and apply that to the 1000 Toys tease of their synthetic female human. Well, except you could probably argue that it's a little more creepy because of those eyes just peering out through the hair on a robot. It's freaking me out. And this pose is damn brilliant. Just kinda... No release info yet, but I'll be keeping an eye out. Alright, maggots. It looks like Mattel is offering up an Elite Sergeant Slaughter for their WWE SDCC at Home exclusive. You don't know how many times it took me to say that, WWE SDCC. Which honestly wouldn't usually be on my radar, but with G.I.Joe riding high like it is, this shot across right into my sights. Look at it. It's a G.I. Joe logo away from being a perfect upsized modern rendition of that V1 mail-away back in the day. I figure the size is going to be slightly large for my classified line, but that's not going to stop me from trying to get it. And I'm kind of nervous. These Mattel things kind of sell out fast. This will be available on July 22nd, which is next week, over on Mattel Creations. Damn exclusives, always giving me the toy sweats. Here we are a week out and I'm already... Whew, am I going to be able to get it? Which is why I sometimes like just being able to pre-order and forget. There it is, I've secured it, and now we wait, and I've got other things to worry about. You know, like the newly announced Super 7 G.I. Joe Ultimates! I don't know why I clapped. I totally screwed myself up. And despite all the debates over whether this line should exist or not, I was a cartoon fan back in the day. I didn't have a lot of the toys, I didn't read a lot of the comics, so this is the version of Snake Eyes I was hoping for. You know, his first appearance in the cartoon. Yes, he was purple. Yes, he had bare hands. That's what it looked like. I get it though, this is not everyone's version of Snake Eyes. There's the ninja, mine's the commando, but I wanted this for the shelf too. You know, him wandering in the snow, saving the Joes from radiation, running into Timber, who also looks so damn animated style. It hurts in a good way. And to get Duke along with him, this is a fantastic start to the 7-inch Sunbow shelf. But where there's good guys, there's gotta be bad guys, and Cobra Commander yins that yang perfectly. It does come with that globe and the snake wrapped around it from the old school Atari video game ad, which is just, I didn't know I needed it until I knew I needed it. And then to finish off the wave, there's the bat. Just big, robotic. It got optional battle damage with the bullet hole in the faceplate and the sparks coming out around it and the arm coming off with the wire sticking out. Just, I don't know, I just dig the looks. Again, this is my childhood, so I never planned for this to be a part of my existing G.I. Joe display. This will be a completely separate display because it's nice to have a little representation of when I was, how old was I by then? Like 8, 9? As I always say, this is just a different line for different collectors. And options are good. It gives us a choice of getting what we do like. If everyone's arguing about having too many options, that's not a bad problem, except for the arguing part. The option part is good. Ooh, internet. $55 a piece, scheduled for spring of 2022. But then, of course, there is Hasbro. We actually saw this leaked a few weeks ago from overseas, but I wanted to wait for the official promo pics before pouring over it. Here's the PulseCon G.I. Joe Classified Series Master of Disguise Zartan. Basically, it's the standard classified Zartan with more colors, more gear, and that oh-so-80s color change gimmick. If I remember right, the original turned bluish hue in the sun? Was that it? Way back in the day? It looks like this one, the colder it gets, the more blue it gets, which is kind of on the nose, but I'm not going to complain. It still has the color change option. Along with that, there's more weapons. There's a big-ass sniper rifle. There's more masks that look to be soft and hard master, and then alternate heads of Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow with more classic styling. And then there's the skull, which I don't know, alternate head, a mask, just something for Zartan to hold. The listing is already on Hasbro Pulse for $36, but won't be active until PulseCon in the fall, whenever that may be. Weird they reveal this on the exact same day that Super 7 announces their G.I. Joe stuff, though. Then there's also the PulseCon exclusive, so many words, Transformers Generations War for Cybertron Deluxe Covert Agent Ravage and Micromaster Decepticons Forever Ravage. I know nothing about Beast Wars. I guess this is what Ravage looked like there, and it kind of freaks me out because I don't recognize it at all. There is no familiarity firing in my brain at the moment. It's just a robot with a Ravage head, or well, I guess a Jaguar head. But then I look over at the cassette and there it is. There's the, warm fuzzies. But that's not all. This week also brought us the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Shattered Glass Jetfire, which is not PulseCon. It's available for pre-order right now. But you know, it's Jetfire, whose original origin was as a Decepticon who defected over to the Autobots. In Shattered Glass, he's a Decepticon who defected over to the Autobots. Which still makes sense, but seems backwards, but it's not. And even as a kid, you knew something was up with Jetfire because he was a Decepticon in Autobot colors. Here, he was a good Decepticon who swapped sides over to the evil Autobots. So he was in he was in evil Autobot colors as a good Decepticon and then swapped over. But I like Jetfire in these colors as kind of a, in my brain canon now, I know it's not right, but as a Decepticon in the main universe, Jetfire should have looked like this. And then when he went over to the Autobots, it was more than just a symbol swap on his chest. It was a complete makeover. That would have made it a little bit less obvious, you know? To top it off, there's also this tease for the Transformers HasLab project. Some are saying Star Saber. I don't know. I'm not familiar with Star Saber, so I trust them. Y'all say Star Saber? I'm right behind you. Guys, We went a whole week with no Marvel Legends news, and it was just, what's happening? The world is upside down. This week, thankfully, we're back on track. The boys came back, dropped some new pictures on us, and Fan First Friday all to themselves. But first, early in the week, we saw updated pictures and the solicitation for the fan channel retro carded Hercules. We had already seen the base figure, but it's nice to see more, like the nostalgia packaging and then the alternate angry head. Well, okay, maybe not angry, kind of less happy. Not as happy as the regular head, who, when I think of Hercules, that's what I think of. The body looks great, very appropriate for Hercules, although does get a little banana hammocky in the crotchal region. I'm used to seeing full-on shorts down on the legs. But maybe they left that off for the reuse factor. Hopefully, you know, we'll get something big and bulky and British in the near future. This is my Excalibur dance. Please give us Excalibur. Later in the week, we got updated shots of the Loki series Sylvie. Again, we'd already seen this, but it seems like they tweaked it a bit. There's less wash in the hair, the facial features seem a bit softened, and then the overall colors just slightly different. Either way, I like the newer pictures. I'm okay with the softening. It makes it a little bit more realistic and not just action figure sharp. Ba-boom, like paint. How many times have I said ba-boom in this video? For those of you hoping for a head without the crown, don't give up hope, because maybe it's like Hercules, where we won't see all the options until the full solicitation. I'll have to get a third-party cloth cape, though, I think. But today, they dropped the Marvel Legends HasLab Galactus on us. 32 inches of sleek, sexy plastic with 70 points of articulation for maximum mobility. I don't know what I was channeling right there. Swappable faceplates for different world-eating moods. LEDs in the head and chest, both front and back, just peering out of the darkness of what will be our wallets very, very soon. The funding goal is 14,000 pieces sold, which at first I thought, holy shit, that's a lot of Galacti. But looking at the page right now, it's been 2.5 hours, and we're at 3,700. So that may not be as unreachable as some people think. Plus, they teased stretch goals, including some kind of army building option. Do I need more than one Galactus? But stretch goals only add value to the $400, so hopefully we see those very, very soon, and they don't wait. Well, the Sentinel funded so fast they couldn't keep up with it. Hopefully we'll see some teases or something before we hit the goals. It's going to be a very, very, very interesting month, especially now that I have to make the decision on whether I want the Big G or the Star Wars Black Series HasLab Rancor. When they announced the HasLab, our best guess was the Rancor, and then this week, Patrick accidentally let it slip, or purposely, who knows, because today we get confirmation that it is the Rancor in the New York Times and on StarWars.com. No official announcement yet, means no pictures, but I'm imagining it, and Now, do I want Galactus for carpool purposes, or the Rancor for snuggling, just every day? Hello, Rancor. Make me feel better. Or both. Damn it, Hasbro. And that is it for this week. Well, probably not. I'm sure I've missed something because the news just keeps on rolling. But if there's more to talk about, we'll catch it on Monday Fwoosh Live, and then the next weekly, of course. Like I said, next weekly, yeah, I'm gonna have to start early. If you're interested in seeing any of these pictures up close without me all ba-boom! Bye-bye. I'll be posting all of that along with links to pre-orders, more information on the Fwoosh front page Saturday at noon. But if you can't wait that long, links are in the description. But this all begs the question, how many HasLabs is too many HasLabs? Don't get me wrong, I get the reasoning behind Hasbro going with the HasLab. These are big, expensive items that retail may not want to carry, or probably won't carry, considering how much space we see on the shelves right now. And as much as we want them to cater to our personal preferences, what we want, the money we want to spend, Hasbro is still a company. And companies, their sole goal is to make money. So announcing one HasLab while teasing two more, it seems kind of shitty on our end because, oh no, we have to make the choice, and oh no, we have to spend all this money. But at the same time, it also gives us a chance to choose. There's Galactus, there's Rancor, there's a Transformers item. I can now look at it and go, which one do I want the most, especially if I don't want to spend the money for all three. And you guys know me, I stand up here every week going, oh, pretty plastic, I may get that even though I'm not attached to the property. But when it comes down to it, when the pre-order's about to ship, I have to actually sit down, be a responsible adult, think about food and shelter, and then adjust accordingly. So yes, it's a lot of money, it's a lot of plastic, there's a lot of releases, and then it's not just Hasbro, there's also import companies and companies who are licensed to make properties that other companies own who are also making those things. It's just, we have to pick and choose. It's up to us. Staying within our means, it's not a bad thing. And I know it's tempting, but don't need it all, but I want it all. But if you enjoyed this weekly, comment, like, subscribe. Much love to the plus. If you're interested in seeing videos early or just in a position to help out the channel, patreon.com. But wherever you may be watching this, I'll always catch you on the Fwoosh. Also, Jeff at TGC Customs on Instagram. I had your box for the play day, and for some reason it got to the side, and I missed it. And as much as I love play days, I hate missing out on stuff that people have sent. I also got a couple of people mixed up in the last one. There's just been a lot of stuff. So next play day, I promise to make it up to you, and then you and you.